All right, and welcome to the ninth installment of the 9 Minutes Golden Goal. We're here with an esteemed cast as well as special guests from South Boston today. We'll start on the left side of your screen with our New York counterpart. Kyle, how are we doing today?
Doing well. Good weekend in soccer. Back to the regular games. No international fixtures.
All right, man. Care to introduce yourself for the world?
Kyle Williams coming here from live from New York, and I will be winning today. So
Yeah, he's on 2 wins. Maybe this is a 2 point round. Who knows? Hasn't been decided yet. But we'll move right along to our resident Italian. He always gets a proper intro. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, you and everyone, coming from Fairfield, Connecticut, it's Steve Antonucci. I'm going to win just as much as Rome's going to win tomorrow, so it's going to be by a landslide.
All right, Steve feeling ambitious. Appreciate that to start off the night. We'll go to Sean. Sean B. Bovanovsky, Liverpool.
Sean Bolvanowski, the St. Joseph's University. And the last 7 minutes of the Liverpool game was the longest 7 minutes of my life.
Okay. Even longer than his last one night stand. No, okay. Sean Bakhtiari. Let's go. You're the new guy.
The new guy here, the second Sean on the cast, former roommate and teammate of the all-popular Justin Kale. Happy to be here with these guys. I read your blog almost on a consistent basis, and I like what you guys do.
We'll take almost consistent. That's positive. We appreciate that. But Sean's not really speaking himself up too highly. He is actually the co-founder and current manager of South EFC, a team out of South Boston that is killing it this year. They're going to win their Saturday league for sure, looking like first or second Sunday league, and they are in their own, Open Cup final. Winner that gets into the actual U.S. Open Cup. So, we're all excited about that in the area, and we're excited to see them doing so well. And it obviously has a lot to do with him as a player manager of that group. Rocking the jersey, show it off for the fans. Let's see it.
We got our sponsor, Local 149, in the front. On the back, we got South EFC.
All right.
Thanks again to our sponsors. Thanks for having us. And,
We're going to pick up one of those.
Hey, you can purchase those online. Look at his little logo there. Facebook.com/SouthDFC. Jerseys, and all memorabilia for sale. I know they have scarves in the works, so we can make it
help
happen.
us get to over 500 likes by the end of October, and Kale will buy you a six-pack of whatever you want.
That's definitely true, without question. What was that?
Six-pack of whiskey?
I don't know if they make those 6 packs, but we could find something that works. Okay, but all right, Sean. Thank you for the intro, and we'll get right into it. It's been a little bit since we've been in this circuit, but we'll get right into the Premier League action from the weekend. There were a bunch of exciting games, a bunch of ridiculous games, honestly, if you ask me. Liverpool was one of those. Southampton was one of those. Manchester United most recently today. We'll go around the group here and give you four guys a chance. Which game was the most surprising for you, and why? So Sean B, I know your answer. Sean Bovanovsky, sorry. So we'll go with you.
Yeah, I mean, most of the, you'd say surprising, but I mean, Liverpool, QPR, Liverpool's been playing down to the competition all season, so it wasn't as much surprising. It was just surprising that they, first of all, were able to win on 2 own goals, and then that Balotelli can't hit the broadside of a barn. I mean, like he can barely score when he's taking random pot shots. Can't score when he's open net. It's just surprising that he is playing so poorly, and that Liverpool were able to escape that game with 2 own goals. They didn't deserve it, but they got it.
Hey, take it and run. What about you, Kyle?
it's got to be Sunderland for me. Anytime you lose 8-0, it's especially as a professional team in the Premier League. That's abysmal. There's no heart there. There's no organization. That's just a collapse. So obviously, also pulling for Josie Altidore. It doesn't look like a good situation for him. So I'm hoping he exits in the January transfer window.
Yeah, all right. Manager Gus Poyet said that was his worst moment in his footballing career, so that obviously says something about the magnitude of that result.
Yep, 2-point conversion.
Yeah, it was. Steve, I know your boys, killing it. Tell us about it.
I was going to say my boy Graziani Pele. He scored 2 goals this past game, and he had one finally to win against Malta. But Kyle took it, so I'm going to go with the Chelsea Crystal Palace game because Crystal Palace had it in their own hands after the red card by Azpilicueta. But the defender's I'm losing his name right now, but he's the one who gave up the PK and also got his second yellow card for a stupid takedown for no reason that basically gave the game back to Chelsea. So
his first red card was even worse when he's yelling at the ref, "You can't talk to me, you can't talk to me," with his finger in his face. You know, it seems like he was destined for a red card.
That's stupid. But that was a terrible game to watch. The most fun to watch was the Southampton game.
Yeah. All right, and Sean Bach.
Yeah, the most surprising result, without a doubt, to me is the 8-0 defeat. I think it was on Saturday. 2 of those 8 goals were own goals, and 3 of those 8 goals were in the last 12 minutes. So it's almost as if they weren't even up and ready for a 90-minute match. It's just, you don't see it very often. It was disappointing, but also exciting.
Yeah. Gus Poyet also said that he knows exactly who gave up in that game, so I can imagine the locker room was a bit crazy. I don't know if any boots were being kicked around like Sir Alex Ferguson was rumored to have done a few times. But, yeah, there was, a bunch of exciting games in the weekend. I like what you had to say about the Chelsea game. I think that was an interesting one, considering how much Crystal Palace just ruined themselves and they had a great chance to take points out of the game. But I'm going to go with my gut here. Liverpool takes it. Sean Bobanowski, welcome to the club. First point of the night goes to Sean B. Liverpool, absolutely terrible performance, but find ways to win games. I think that's happened all year so far. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like once Sturridge is back in the group and they actually put a good performance in. And the funny thing is, they're still.
I just want to point out that last season, before they got on that roll, they had a couple games where they won like 1-0 before Suarez came back. They found ways to win games, and then they hit their stride. So I mean, I'm not giving them up on them yet, but a lot of it depends on whether Balotelli decides to become a player he can be rather than what he is.
Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully they can hit stride and figure it out. I mean, they're still in the top 5. It's interesting if you look at it. Manchester United even found their way into the top 5. We're going to do a quick speed round here. 20 seconds max. Does United find a way into European football next year? Steve, if you look interested, go.
Absolutely. They have a heck of an attack, and as soon as they start finding their stride between Angel Di Maria, who's scored in every single game he's played in pretty much, Wayne Rooney, once he decides to start playing really down without stupidly slide tackling everyone, really missed him this week. And then also Falcao coming off the bench or playing in the game because you have Robin Van Persie as well, who, I don't know, there's too many guys in their attack that they cannot miss the EuroLeague with a decent coach in John Hall.
All right. Kyle.
I say yeah as well. They just have too much talent on that roster, and every other day you hear Van Gaal has a new dream signing, so if they're not getting it done by January, they're going to bring in reinforcements. And, Steve named some of the names: Di Maria, Herrera, Blind, Falcao, Rooney. They got just a wealth of options. I think they finished top 4.
All right. Sean Southey.
I'll say Man U gets into the top 4. 2 reasons. 1, their players. 2, I've got a ton of faith in their coach. The one reason that keeps them from getting into the top 4 to me would be their back line. So I don't know what they're going to do about it. They got to do something. We'll see. Maybe they bring somebody in. Maybe they start to gel. But if their back line puts it together, then I think without a doubt they make it into the top 4.
All right, and Sean B.
I say I'm going to go against the crowd. I'm going to say no. I mean, first off, the last time they won the league, the last time they really performed well was they were able to get these last-minute goals to win games and really kept the game going. They were never perfect. They always toughed it out. They don't seem to have the same mentality. They seem like a team cobbled together based on their marketing ability, and I feel like they're gonna be they're not the best team. They're just a wealth of options. but there's so many options. I don't feel like they're always going to be connected. I feel like that's going to hurt them. And I also think the rumors of them playing like friendlies in like Africa and Middle East and some of the East Coast America during the times when they're being playing Champions League, I think we'll throw them off, especially since they'll be playing competition. That won't be Champions League competition. I think it's going to hurt them in the end. I think they're going to be the opposite.
All right. So 3 yeses, 1 no. I feel like they finish in the top 5. I think they might end up playing the Europa League next year. But I do think their back line's a big question. I do think that's the biggest question. We're gonna give Boston. We're gonna give Boston a little love, local boys. First point of his career. We should get some celebratory music, maybe. Oh, wrong one. Perfect mix right there. All right, moving on to the MLS here. MLS has been a little interesting. A lot of headlines in the news recently with the U.S. national team. We'll just go around to a couple of you. Do you think it's right what's going on between Klinsmann and Don Garber? It seems like a petty school fight, after high school. Someone stole your lunch money, so you're looking to find him in the parking lot. What do you think? What's the deal here? What's the deal, Kyle? What do you think? Who's right? Is anyone right?
Well, I think they're both right in their positions. Obviously, Garber as commissioner has to defend the league, and Klinsmann as the national team coach has his right to say what he wants about how to get the best out of the U.S. team. That being said, I think Garber came off as the loser in the battle. He took the comments very personally and even said so. And his press conference really had no purpose other than to address Klinsmann's comments, which really weren't even that severe or critical anyway. So it just seemed like Garber was being very petty. And I think Klinsmann has every right. He doesn't have to support MLS. He could do whatever tactic he wants to try and get the U.S. to play the best. And he's made good comments about MLS too, but he just always says that he thinks Europe is where he wants his best players to be playing.
Okay, sticking to what he said all along, no question. What about you, Steve?
I agree with Kyle. We actually talked about this the other day about working. And Klinsmann is right. And I'm going to say that the Commission for MLS is also a little right in the fact that he's going to defend his baby, which is the MLS. He's got to do that. At the same time, he's going to level too far because you and I both know, my dad even knows, he doesn't follow soccer, that if you want your best players to play at top-level competition, they got to go play in Europe. Whether it be on a bench at Roma, or even on a bench at Kiev, or a bench at Southampton, you're still playing with top competition. Granted, there are a bunch of crappy players in the EPL and Serie A that are not even make teams in the MLS, but still, hey, you got higher quality coaches and a lot of better trainers out there that'll help improve your game. So until the MLS starts throwing money at coaches, I don't see them moving much higher.
All right, I see your guys' point, but is it ever okay for your own nation's national team coach to say your league is just not good enough?
Yeah.
Sean, you seem like it's all right. One of you, Sean's.
Yeah, I think it's totally fine, and I actually like what's going on. The only thing wrong about the situation is how public they decided to make it all. I think Klinsmann has the right to be passionate about what he believes and has the right to talk. Or I guess not talk, but has the right to say that his players deserve to be at the highest level in his opinion. And I think Garber has the right to be passionate about his league and defend his league. Like I said, the only thing wrong about the situation is how public it went, and maybe that's more Garber than anything for setting up the conference call. But to me, to answer your question, any national coach has the right to his or her own opinion, and if Klinsmann continues to do good things and get good results, then you can't criticize the guy.
All right. Other Sean B., what do you think?
Yeah, I think we brought in Jurgen Klinsmann. The reason while Bob Bradley was still a coach, everyone's playing for Jurgen Klinsmann because what he can do for changing the mentality of a national team. What he did in Germany, this involves a lot of people in Germany, especially when he was coaching at Germany and then at Bayern Munich. He's a guy who ruffles a lot of feathers, but we need that because we need to start conversations in this country about improving our league of play. Our system's not where it should be. Our MLS is not where it should be. So there's a facet of business interest. We didn't need investment in that team MLS to be on the same footing because one gets better, the other can get better. So more people are interested in soccer, more people are interested in MLS, and vice versa, and the talent level goes up. But I mean, it's not wrong what Jurgen Klinsmann saying. I mean, he says this stuff all the time, and that's what he does. He talks. By addressing it, you kind of make it worse. Like, his comments are not wrong. We do need more players in Europe. We get excited when a player like Christian Pulisic goes to Borussia Dortmund's academy team rather than the numerous players that go to maybe Seattle's academy team because they produce better coaches and football over there. It's right. And then just because, and he says these comments so many times, that, I mean, by addressing it, you make the comment worse. But if you just let him say these things, everyone's just like, oh, that's just Jurgen trying to motivate his guys. But then once Don Garber responds, it's like, oh, there's a rift. And once you get the image of a rift, anytime he makes these comments in the future, it just propagates that myth. So I think Don Garber is completely wrong in addressing it.
Hey, Justin, can you get 1 point?
Yeah, you can.
So just to go on, I mean, one of these guys has won the UEFA, has won the European Cup, has won the World Cup, and the other guy has started his career in the NFL. And
NFL Europe.
Yeah, and to use your school analogy, one of them sounds like the little rich kid who someone said something mean to him, and now is kind of whining about it to the principal. Like, Garber was kind of out of line. Like, he didn't even have to address the comments. So when he did, it really came off, making him sound really defensive and really insecure about the state of the league. And it almost makes Klinsmann's comments seem even more true that the commissioner would take such a stance against them like that.
Okay. All right, well, Kyle started and ended this conversation really well. I think he definitely gets it. He put basically all the comments made into, a well-organized diatribe, we'll call it. But yeah, I think it's an interesting one. You want to say that the league's getting better and that players should come back to the league to try to make it better. But at the end of the day, if you want the best players right now, that's not the answer. And I think Klinsmann's perfectly within his right to let everyone know that and make sure everyone's aware that if you're going to come back, it's not going to be as easy for you to get in this national team because it should be a coveted thing for you to be a part of. All right, moving on to the U.S. women, we'll go back. Quick speed round, 10 seconds this time. I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it, and then we'll start. Landon Donovan, finally done. Had his swan song, had his send-off. What is your favorite ever Landon Donovan moment? All right, I'll start with mine. Mine is, you guys definitely have seen this before, certain picture back in his San Jose Earthquakes days, a certain advertisement. They were a little bit maybe sexually suggestive at the time. I just remember that every time I think about Landon Donovan, and that's why when he's mentioned, I cringe sometimes. So, we'll move on. Steve, what do you got for me? Favorite Landon Donovan moment?
I'm going to say it is the goal for to take the lead against Algeria in 2010, because I think that was officially what launched the U.S. men's national team into recognition, we'll say. That is what took them past LeBron James' 50,000 SportsCenter highlights and everyone gushing over like Mike Trout and everyone. I think that's the biggest goal he's ever scored.
All right. Sean Bakhtiari, what do you got?
I would need to hear a really, really, really good argument for someone to like a moment greater than the goal he scored against Algeria. To me, that's not just Donovan's greatest moment. That might be the greatest moment in U.S. men's national team history. It's basically what put the popularity of the team that is today on the map. And when I go back and watch those YouTube videos of not him, but the Americans celebrating in the bars and with their friends, it gives me goosebumps. So it continues to be one of the best moments, and I'd be curious to know if anyone thinks otherwise.
All right. Other Sean B., what do you got for us?
My favorite moment is him being on the field at the Azteca. If that doesn't epitomize just the U.S.-Mexico rivalry and then you can't make anything better. Even though I really hope he did it on purpose, but even if he did it just because he couldn't get in the bathroom, that's my favorite Donovan moment. That just cheeky little peeing on the field in the corner. That's the best.
All right, Kyle.
Mine's the 2002 World Cup run, the goal versus Mexico, and then the next game versus Germany. I remember he had a move where he shimmied one of the defenders, megged them, and then curled a shot that's going lower corner, and Oliver Kahn literally stops it with the end of his middle finger, somehow saves it.
The greatest goalie ever.
It was one of those moments where it's like, it's almost before he arrived. It's like, sometimes as a sports fan, it's like, just seeing that potential of how good someone could be. And I almost feel like Landon didn't live up to what I thought he could be, and he's been the best player in U.S. history, I think. But like, just like that's what makes you a sports fan. It's just like what could be when you have like that next big thing. And I just remember thinking we finally have a world-class player during those games.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing with Landon Donovan because picking a moment for him is very difficult considering his career is kind of, if you look at it, just one moment in U.S. men's national team history that we'll always remember as the one that got the U.S. men's national team on the map in the mainstream, I would say. But I think it culminated.
One thing real quick, too. Sean Bakhtari's greatest goal in U.S. history. I like to consider John Brooks' goal against Ghana the greatest goal thus far in U.S. history.
All right.
Because without that, we wouldn't have advanced.
Steve, I'm going to be honest with you, real honest. I was about to give you a point, but now I got to take it away.
No way. Give me that point, man. You know I'm right. John Brooks, Sean Hurt, and around the world.
No. It was turned around the world, but it was not as big as the goal versus
There.
But I feel bad. I feel bad for you. Roma's about to get SmackDown tomorrow, so I'll give you a point. I'll give you a point.
Brooks is gonna score him. Don't worry.
Why did I not get a point?
John's answer was very good, but you have a man pissing in your face right now, and I can't take you seriously with that going on. With that going on, we're all on one at this moment. Landon Donovan, I wish you. I think everyone here can agree with that. We definitely could have used you at the World Cup, but that's besides the point for another day. We'll move on. U.S. women's national team. This will be a quick one just because they're obviously the best in our region. They're obviously always one of the favorites at the World Cup, even with all this controversy of playing on turf and things like that. So we'll see if that even, ends up happening. But what is my question for you? Let's see. Will they win the World Cup? Let's just go with that. Let's go straight up. Will the U.S. Women's National Team win the World Cup? And will it be on turf? I guess you could throw that in a quick little tidbit. So, Sean Bakhtiari, we're going to start with you. You look interested.
It's a quick answer. The answer is yes, and I don't have any more comments besides the fact that I'm in love with Alex Morgan. So I'm going to leave it at that and let the next person say what they need to say.
My tiara friend.
I think they do win. I don't think they win the turf battle. I think there's even a few teams in the men's system that are saying like we're gonna go over turf. It's just so much easier, and the U.S. The Women's World Cup doesn't bring in enough money. They're gonna fight hard, and I think they deserve their opinion, but it's gonna be on turf. It's just the way it has to be.
All right, Kyle.
So the first two questions. The one, I don't think they're gonna win. I think Germany, Sweden, France, Brazil, the other teams have gotten better and are more technical than the U.S. But the bigger thing is, I think FIFA, for a long time, everyone knows it, is such a backwards organization and like pretty disgusting in some of their human rights and women's issues. And it's kind of crazy how they're just turning their cheek at the women, just not hearing them that they don't want to play in this terrible turf surfaces, and how it's not even healthy for the players. So just another example of FIFA being a corrupt organization that doesn't care about anything except Sepp Blatter and himself. So it just really illustrates that again.
Money.
Yeah, exactly.
And Steve.
I'm agree with Kyle. I'm going to say no, because you have players like Marta in Brazil and a bunch of other young girls who are as technically sound as a lot of MLS players. So they're going to be running circles around the U.S. without Alex Morgan. And also, if what people are calling for will happen, as in the domestic violence dispute about Hope Solo and her right hooks, um, she might not even be playing during the World Cup. And not to say they have a bad backup goalkeeper, but Hope Solo is pretty damn good. And also, they'll be going against their former coach and Peter Sundhage, who's probably going to look to beat up on the U.S. a little bit for Sweden if they qualify. And then to answer your other question, I think the only way that they'll get Sepp Blatter to pay attention to them is if they send Alex Morgan in a naked package to him. That's it.
All right. Well, that's a lot of MLS bashing right there, right at the beginning. No, I think you're right, Steve. I don't think the U.S. wins it. I think they've had a lot of success just because they've been ahead of the curve, but everyone's kind of catching up. You can see that even in the Trinidad and Tobago game they just had. 1-0. Granted, they had a bunch of shots and did very well, but it's closer. The gap's closing. Japan's there. Some other Asian countries are getting closer to them. Norway's there. China's there. It's going to be difficult and not as easy as everyone thinks. Our best player. Sorry?
It would be cool to see if, like, Trinidad and Tobago or Haiti, the team that couldn't even afford to go there, hit it big in the World Cup, because they would definitely get a lot of sponsorship and things of that sort that would help out their finances. I mean, they couldn't even pay for food. And then Trinidad and Tobago might not even be able to pay for themselves, but they're still assisting them to go. So I think that's a cool story that people should follow, for sure.
Yeah, so we smacked up Haiti. It was 5-0 in the 70th minute today, the U.S. women's team. So we'll see about that. But, I don't think they win. There's too many other good teams. I think our talent's getting a little bit older. I don't think we can compete as well as we used to or have the same kind of play that we used to and still be successful. So, Steve, you're getting it. Steve gets the point. He takes the U.S. women even when he's bashing the MLS once again. I cannot believe it. But we are in America for everyone who cares out there. But let's go on to some European fun. Champions League this week. There are a lot of excellent games. We have 3 options for this because Arsenal doesn't count because no Arsenal fans are here. So, best matchup this week: Roma Bayern, Ajax Barcelona, Liverpool Real Madrid. Tell me why. The red fan. Let's go.
Oh, me. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you obviously know my answer. I think this Liverpool Real Madrid game is going to be an intense one. Liverpool on the European night is a different team no matter what they've been so far. And I mean, I really wish they had Sturridge right now, but the loss of Bale is a big. I mean, to deal with both Bale and Cristiano on the wings would have been tough. But I mean, Liverpool, they shouldn't win the game, and I think Real Madrid, it could become an open game and they could get smoked. But if they just bring that extra something that they have and they just haven't shown yet, then this could be one of those special European nights for Liverpool. So I think that's the most exciting game because who wants to watch Roma and Ajax is no longer a club worth any mind. So.
All right, Steve, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I was going to say that Liverpool and Real Madrid would be a fun game to watch because you have James Rodriguez and then informed Chicharito probably going to start. And if Benzema makes it back, who knows? That's doubtful. That'll be a fun game to watch as they'll torch Liverpool fans. Balotelli will probably put one in, and everyone will get a little happy, but he'll probably do something stupid to get himself red-carded. But the real fun is going to be, obviously, Roma versus Bayern because you have a team who just, for the first time in 3 or 4 years, making it into the Champions League, playing against a former winner in the past 2 years. And, I mean, Xabi Alonso is in form now. You guys all saw his amazing Ronaldinho-like goal under the wall. So he'll probably have a few cheeky plays like that, and we'll see if Roma's goalkeeper, Morgan Santos, can hang out with Arjen Robben and Manuel Neuer. So I think that's the game to watch.
All right. Kyle, what do you think?
It's Ajax Barcelona for me. You have Cruyff's former team, and now Cruyff's the team he went to and coached at and played at. So I think it'll be an interesting contrast of styles with Barcelona being kind of the modern evolution of the total football Cruyff did at Ajax. They're both attacking teams, and Barcelona has been off to a blistering start to the season. Messi and Neymar really look like to be on the same page this year. Messi's been back to his usual self, so I'm looking forward to that game the most.
All right, Sean B.
To me, this is the toughest question yet, in my opinion. I think all three of these games could be exciting, but whenever you have one of the most passionate fan bases in the world in Liverpool versus one of the richest clubs in the world and the star power that Madrid has, that might have the slight edge. And whenever you've got arguably one of the best players in the world, in Cristiano Ronaldo, on the pitch where he can make anything happen, that could cause some excitement. So to me, the slight edge is Liverpool versus Madrid, although I'm excited to see all three of those games.
All right. Yeah, I'm pretty partial here. I'm going to be honest with that one. I think as bad as Liverpool has been, Stevie G has a bit of magic left, and he's going to score a goal. He's going to score a goal, probably be a free kick. And I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate like they just won the whole Champions League. It's going to be great.
You can't beat European Unites at Anfield. We've been waiting for this 5 years. I mean, they were a little shaky for the first few games, but they're settled enough that they can turn the cop into their favor.
Well, and that's another thing. They really need the points. It's not like they're in a great spot where this game doesn't really matter, and they need these points to put themselves in a good spot in the table. Kyle, you look like something's coming.
And hey, it'll be nice for Sterling to play versus Real Madrid before he joins them, right?
Yes. Since everyone's saying he's not going there, he's definitely going there.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, if Liverpool somehow embarrasses Iker Casillas, there's been talks that David De Gea is going to be transferred to Real Madrid. I doubt Van Halsen let that happen, but that also sucked for Navas as well. But that can happen.
There are a lot of implications here. Then anything's possible, especially at Anfield, as Sean so politely pointed out to us.
I don't think Mario Balotelli is going to embarrass Iker Casillas, even though Iker Casillas is very susceptible to being embarrassed.
He embarrassed Manuel Neuer 2 years ago, 3 years ago in the Euros, so I think he can do it.
Wait, I'm sorry. Do you mean Mario Torres? I think you misspoke.
Oh, speaking of Torres, sorry. Before we go there, the point here goes to Sean Bovo. You started the revolution. You're getting it. Let's go. Sean's on 2. Steve's on 2. Kyle 1. Sean Bach in his debut on 1. Still a lot of time left. But to go with that Torres comment, Steve, this one's for you. You're going to start this off. We're going to Italy. Juventus top of the table. They're expected to be there. Roma's second. But the surprise for me, AC Milan. They're finding their way. They're winning games. Fernando Torres is playing well. What's going on? What's going on in Italy right now? Who's going to win the league? Is Juventus going to hold on and win like they always do, or is it someone else's turn?
It's someone else's turn. I'm not going to necessarily say it's Roma's turn, but Massimiliano Allegri has a habit of choking. That's why he got fired from AC Milan. And the reason why AC Milan is doing so well is finally they don't have any injuries, and they also have no expectations. Italians are truly pessimistic, so they expect them to finish at the bottom of the table. Or they expect them to win. There's no in between. For Roma, people expect them to win this year. So we'll see how far that goes, and I feel like if they win, Totti will retire, and things will get pretty sad in that part. But I think I see Napoli and Fiorentina fighting it out for the third and fourth spot as well.
All right. So Juventus is out. Sean B. from South Boston. What do you think?
No, honestly, I really haven't been following the Italian league all that much this year, but it's tough to see Juventus with the squad that they have squandering the league, even though it is a slight lead right now. But with the names of Tevez, Vidal, even Pogba, who I thought was one of the best young stars of the World Cup on the squad. I don't know. They've been an exciting team. I haven't been following the Italian league too much, but they've got the players, and if I'm a betting man, even without paying too much attention to the Italian league, I'm putting money on Juventus.
All right. Wherever you put money, I'll put money, but we're not there yet. So, Kyle.
I think Juventus is the best team. Sean Bach was alluding to it, but that core in the midfield with Pirlo, Pogba, and Vidal is just that's massive in the middle of the field. And then I even like getting Patrice Evra. I think is a good signing for them. And then Tevez for me is like one of the most underrated strikers. He just always puts goals in. He should have been on Argentina's World Cup team, so I think Juventus will be there when it's all said and done.
All right. Sean, I appreciate your text. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a dark horse. I'm gonna go with Parma is gonna win the league. So, I'm gonna be honest, I don't follow the Serie A at all.
Liverpool's going to win the league.
Dark horse Parma. You heard it here first.
Is that all you got? That's all you got.
Players, they can't win any games, though.
Berlusconi's going to buy Parma, and somehow they're going to make it to the top of the league through very questionable referee decisions.
Okay. All right. Well, I think Kyle and Sean are onto something. I think Juventus is too good. Sean, I like your bribing. I believe that definitely happens in that league many times.
It happened against Roma.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I expect Juventus to continue to kill it. Tevez is flying, absolutely flying right now. But Pogba, probably the best young player in the world, right now. So they're pretty lucky to have him. And then obviously Pirlo, the ageless wonder, just continues to get smarter, better, a little bit more savvy, in his role. And when you have that combination, it's very difficult.
You
to
just
compete
wait.
with that.
He's going to be playing soon.
Yeah, but you know what? He's gonna get hurt. He's gonna get injured again. And it's all gonna be over for them.
No, he's not.
All right. I do appreciate Totti though, still scoring goals. So, but I'm giving it to Kyle. Kyle, you're getting one.
Woohoo!
Kyle's on 2. Kyle's on 2. Steve's on 2. Sean's on 2. Newcomer on 1. That's all right. Still time to make it back. We're gonna go to Germany quickly. This is gonna be brief. Sean Bolvanowski alluded to this earlier about Dortmund signing a U.S. youth player. The fact that we're seeing more and more of these type stories popping up, what does it mean for U.S. soccer as a whole? Is it a good thing? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? And why? You have 30 seconds. Do it quick. Sean Bolvanowski, since you started this revolution, here we go.
Our youth system is very decentralized, and we try to get it the pass. We kind of pick the best players that we can find, and we train them. And it's better to have more of our players getting the recognition, so we get a wider net to catch these players. And to have players going to Borussia Dortmund, coached by an American, their reserve team, David Wenger, it's good to have these players getting the top coaching, because the MLS, although it's good, it's getting better. It's not where we're going to find our best players. Players like Mark Pelosi, Christian Pulisic, Joe Gyau, Emerson Hyndman, they're going to find their best coaching out in Europe. So that's good for the U.S. men's national team, and it will light a fire under the ass of the MLS.
All right. Stevie.
I think it's a great thing. Like I said before, that's where you want your best players to go, and if they can continually be sent to a team that prides success on homegrown players, and that's probably the problem now, is that they keep selling those players. So it can only get better. It can only get better barring injuries or stupid cash decisions that the parents might make on behalf of their kids. So,
all right. Sean B.
For American soccer, it's great, although I do think the media plays it up as a bigger deal than it really is. He's a great player going to a great club, and it's good to see it in the news because young players something to look forward to and something to strive for. But you never know what's going to – I mean, let's see what happens when he's there. He got signed, and he's going to go over to a big club. We'll see what happens. Only time can tell. But it's good to see the American player in the news going over to Europe.
All right. Finish us off, Kyle.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of the points. I think just the diversity of options now is a good thing. I still think MLS, like a guy like Will Trapp, some of those younger players are still developing nicely. But it's great now that the big European teams are looking for the U.S. guys, and especially identifying them early when they're 13, 14, 15, 16, as opposed to when they're 21, 22. I think that's key to the development. So, and you look at a guy like Rubio Rubin, who's probably the most talented and legit prospect right now. He's starting for Utrecht, and they just had the U23s just had a friendly versus Brazil, where they lost, unfortunately. But Rubin was the standout for the U.S., and it shows why, because he went to Europe early and has been able to develop.
So do you guys think that that's the answer? That these youth players all have to go to Europe? Quickly, yes. Quickly, yes or no. No, no words. It's yes or no. Sean B. Red. Steve.
Right now, yes.
Other Sean B.
No, it's all about the player's personality.
Okay. Now, Kyle.
I say no as well.
Okay.
He said a word though. He's not allowed to say that.
Yeah, he did say a few extra there. So
I have to say,
all right.
I could take Yarcy Zaldez from LA Galaxy. He's a homegrown player.
I think Kyle did a great job reading Wikipedia when he did that answer. I think he had a lot of good names to throw out, so he did a good job there. But Sean B, I agree with you, Southie Sean B, sorry, about the media making it a bigger deal than it is. I think it's a great point. Like it is a big deal, but it's not really that big of a deal if you think about that these teams are signing players from everywhere at all times. And just because it's from the, I mean, it's not that it's a big deal, but not that big of a deal. And I like that point a lot. But it is the right thing, like you guys said, a great thing for U.S. men's national team. So, Sean B gets it. That puts everyone on two. On two. Strange the way that works out. Number nine. It looks like a toss-up round. So, someone brought this up to me earlier today. Could have been during a conversation I had before this hangout. I'm not sure, but there's a hot topic. Promo relegation. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone maybe wants it, maybe doesn't want it. Thinks it's a money issue. What do you guys think? Is that ever going to happen in the MLS? Are we such a big country that we are destined for one league? What do you think, Steve?
I want to happen in every single league that we have because it will force teams to stop just developing and selling their players at a profit. Like, not blaming a baseball team, but the Pittsburgh Pirates are a prime example of that. And I mean, you can say guys like Chivas who are folding now just trade away their players left and right because you know what, can't afford them. So let's just develop them for a little bit until they don't want to play here anymore. So now the team's folding and it's gonna be put in some random place like Oklahoma now.
All right, I like that. Sean B from Southie. What if your team could find its way to the MLS?
it's exciting stuff. I think promotion relegation will happen in our lifetime, probably sooner than later, and I think it should happen for the simple reason that the best leagues in the world do it, and on top of that, it just creates more excitement not only for the teams at the top of the table, but for the teams at the bottom of the table. Some of the best storylines in the leagues overseas are the storylines between the teams at the bottom of the table fighting to stay in the top leagues, or the teams even in the second division fighting to gain promotion to the top league. So it creates a whole new set of storylines besides a Super Bowl champion or besides a World Series champion, and I think that might even be good for business.
All right, Kyle Williams.
I think I've changed my stance on this. I actually think promotion relegation will happen, and I think it should happen. And I was reading an article the other day about like Sacramento FC is one of the teams trying to get into MLS, and they're a team who has their own games broadcast on local TV networks for higher contract value than the MLS, and they get 10,000 plus fans to every game. And then you look at teams like Seattle and Portland who joined from the NASL. They're two of the most successful franchises in the MLS. So I think and you look at, I know Rochester has a very big following too. So I think there's enough cities in the U.S. and enough passionate fan bases where you could get a good system for promotion and relegation. And then you even look at like Jurgen Klinsmann called in that guy, Miguel Ibarra, from the Minnesota team, the national team. So there's enough quality. You see that there's players that are good enough. So I think just the competition will be good for the American soccer system overall. So I think it will happen, and I hope it happens as well.
Okay. Sean, do you think that if it was going to happen, it would have to be just 2 levels, or could we have 5 or 6 levels? Sean Bobanowski.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's take away the fact that we've already gone over how it will help American soccer. That it's said the reason and logic behind that's flawless. But it's the business aspects that really prevent this from happening, and why I kind of I think that it will really have to be a massive restructure of how the MLS, NASL, and USL work in order for this to ever happen. First of all, MLS and NASL are two competing leagues. When a team gets we're not getting promoted from NASL. They're just going to the MLS because there's more money in it. But the North American Soccer League was started to, hey, we don't want to have a salary cap. We want to be different from the MLS and compete on the same grounds. New York Cosmos are trying to compete on the same grounds with the Red Bulls. They're not trying to get promoted to play in the MLS. They're trying to take away some of the New York market. So with those two competing entities, the Championship League, they're trying to promote them. So they're trying to get to the English Premier League. They have one goal, but it seems like the NASL, the entire league is trying to jump and promote themselves over the MLS. So when you got two competing leagues like that, it's kind of hard to see them agreeing to the NSL agreeing, okay, we'll be the second league that makes less money, when their entire business profile is them trying to make more money than MLS and re-emerge as the prominent soccer league. So with those two competing entities, it doesn't make any sense. And then the USL is pretty much just like, why would they want to agree to be the third league unless they were given some kind of kickback? And then there's just the three leagues we have don't work together. I mean, on a certain level, MLS and USL Pro do, but I mean, they don't work too well. That they're just starting to kind of establish that relationship, and there's one technically in between them that wants nothing to do with either of them. So it's kind of hard to see there being promotion relegation and NASL taking the back seat. So there'll have to be something that amalgamates the two and merges them before promotion and relegation that even happens. And I'm kind of finding it hard to see that because the NASL doesn't seem to be even want to associate with the MLS, and the MLS doesn't seem to want to associate with the NASL. So promotion relegation won't happen until those two decide to work together, and I don't see them working together anytime soon.
Can I make two quick points? First, I mean, the NBA merged 1967, ABA and NBA. Dr. J came along with that. So I think as money talks, and the NASL, even though they're competing with the likes of the MLS, if someone came with the proper price, they would absolutely merge. And if that happens, New York Cosmos are currently trying to sign Raul. So if that happens, that happens. You can see Raul play against maybe Xavi and David Villa at some point. You know?
Yeah.
So,
the business model, though, for MLS won't work for promotion relegation. There needs to be a way.
There'll be a huge change. It has to be a huge overhaul.
Yeah, you need to be able to have no salary cap. You need to be able to improve your team. You need to have academies where you don't have just a select few homegrown players. You get your entire team. It has to work more in a totally different way. And we've seen how Don Garber is so resistant to change, or just someone saying that there needs to be an improvement. So it's kind of hard to think that they're so set in their ways because they were so fearful of what happened at NASL. It's so hard to believe that they'll acquiesce on some certain points in order to go towards promotion relegation. So it's going to be a dramatic reconstructing of not only their mentality but their business model before it could ever come into play. And I think I think someone outside, like you said, someone outside the MLS and NASL has to buy it and impose their will, because without that, it's going to be them, MLS doing the status quo, building incrementally, and then NASL trying with a lot less cash inflow to challenge that.
Yeah, I think an NFL owner cannot, or NFL anyone cannot be involved with the main decisions like Don Garber is. It should be like a Johan Greikoff, if possible. That would be something cool to happen.
The biggest problem with MLS right now is that Don Garber owns and controls everything. You know, it's one man in control of all transfers, all entrances to the league, all exits from the league, all everything. You know, once that change, I think everything else kind of hopefully trickles down and the what's that?
Step out the ladder. Sorry, I got something wrong.
I mean, I'm sure Garber's making a lot of money, but the points can go to Sean because I agree. I don't think it's happening for a while. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it, but I don't think it's happening. Don Garber's in the way. The NASL is in the way. They want to be their own league. There's no question there. There's a Indianapolis team, for example, putting a massive stadium out there because they get 15,000 fans a game, and they're trying to compete on their own level. And I wonder if there's ever going to be an agreement where they say, yeah, we're below you. We'll work to get there, especially if they're already competing at an equal level. So, Sean B., Bobrovsky, sorry, in the red shirt today, puts himself on 3. With 1 round to go, we could have an overall champion or a tie. So we'll see. Last round is Cesc Fabregas the best midfielder in the Premier League? I'll give it a second to sink in. Sean Bobrovsky, you won the last round. Start us off. Let's go.
Yeah, no, he's not. And the best one, surprise that I'm saying this, is Raheem Sterling. He was involved in every Liverpool goal the other day. He is the engine that makes that team run. He's putting a little too much on his shoulders right now, so he's not able to show as well as Cesc Fabregas sometimes because, like you said, he even got tired because he's got a lot of tread on his tires at an early age. But once if the team can find itself, Sturridge can come back, you'll see how much he can. As long as doesn't have to be the only creator. As long as there's a Sturridge or Coutinho that's carrying some of the load, and they can't just focus all their attention on him. He can create so much with his runs and with his passing ability. He's so quick. He's already mainly the focal point of the English national team. They will be for a while. And if Liverpool will have to make sure to keep him because Real Madrid and a lot of other clubs will come running. Cesc Fabregas is good, but Raheem Sterling is better.
Sean Bakhtiari.
It's super close. It comes down between Sterling and Fabregas to me, and the two of them are completely different players. Fabregas is more of a playmaker, stays more in the midfield unless the whole team's attacking at once, and Sterling can make something happen out of nothing. But if I'm building a team around my midfield, I think I want Fabregas in the midfield, and he's going to be the one who's the engine, making things happen by his passing. You could argue either one with this one, but for me personally, if I'm building a team around one midfielder in the EPL, it's going to be Fabregas for his playmaking that he does from his passing ability.
All right. Steve, you're shaking your head.
They are both, Sterling and Fabregas are very good, and so is Angel Di Maria. But what about a guy named Dusan Tadic? Or, I forget his name, is it Gifley Sigurdsson? And then also Christian Eriksen for Tottenham. Those guys are way more important to their teams than a Sterling or a Cesc Fabregas is.
No, you can't say that. The only reason Sterling beat QPR, the only reason Liverpool beat QPR, and I accidentally said Sterling because Sterling was the entire team. He's the only one who can do anything for that team right now. Without Sturridge, it's Sterling. So, Gerrard's not doing anything. Coutinho sucks.
But they have the means of going out and buying someone. Not a Tottenham probably now, but not a Swansea for sure. No, they're gonna have to sell someone.
Steve, who is your choice? The best midfielder in the league. You have to pick one. Who is it?
Dusan Tadic.
All right, perfect. Kyle.
Well, so far I'm glad I get to go last because everyone's wrong. It's Angel Di Maria for sure. He's been one of the best 5 or 6 players in the world over the last year, and United is such a different team with him in the midfield. He's a complete player. He is creative. He can find guys. He'll even score a few goals, and he could really tackle, and he has the work rate where he's just such an asset to any team. So for me, he's the best, and I'd say he's the best player.
I just got to say one thing. We all have different answers here, but when it comes down to it, Fabregas has the best record, and Fabregas is in first place. So that might have something to do with the decision.
All right.
Hazard.
All right. A lot of the guys, few of the guys you mentioned, new to the league. Di Maria, Fabregas, new to the league. Sterling's very young, but he's been around.
New to the league.
Fabregas is new to the league this year.
But he's not new to the league.
He's new to the league with Chelsea. It's a different animal over there. Definitely a different animal over there. But Sterling for me, not yet a complete player, not yet ready to be called the best midfielder in the league. He still needs to add a lot to his game.
Racist.
Steve, I like
a company jersey.
Steve, I like the name drops you had. I think Christian Eriksen is excellent player. But those guys you mentioned, not yet there either. And I don't think as good as Di Maria has been, he's not my man. I'm not. I can't get. I'm not on board with him yet. He's good. He's done well, but I need to see him sustain it for an entire season, not get injured, and make it work. I know Fabregas has had his injury problems, but with Chelsea, I think he finds himself in unbelievable spots, creates a lot of chances, and has players around him to make himself the best. And he right now is the best midfielder in the league and could be for the entire year. So, Sean Bakhtiari, I'm gonna have to give you that point.
Oh
Give you that
man,
point there.
here's luck.
I'm surprised
In a
nobody
10-1,
mentioned.
beginner's luck. It'll happen. That'll happen. So through 10 rounds, we have the Seans tied on 3, and the other 2 down on 2. We're gonna have to have a sudden death shootout round.
Oh, just let us both win.
No, we can't have 2 winners today.
Hey Justin, how about nobody mentioned Hazard or Toure, huh?
Hey, I didn't. This is after the fact, Kyle.
I
But-
think if you asked
You lost.
that question last year, Hazard and Torre would have been the top 2.
All right, because this is the inaugural visit for Mr. Bakhtiari from South FC, we hope that we can have him back again. He will grace us with his presence. So to facilitate this, one, I'll send him, that 6-pack of whiskey in the mail that we talked about earlier. But he'll also get his minute of fame. Sean Bakhtiari, you have a minute. Say whatever and whatever you
I'm
would
shutting
like.
down the block. I'm shutting down the block.
To whoever you would like. Sean Bobanowski, you also win. It's a tie today, man. You get one too. All right, Sean Bakhtiari, let's go.
I just want to say thanks to you guys. You guys do a tremendous job, and I've actually watched some of your, I'm going to call it a podcast, some of your podcasts in the past, and it's exciting to be a part of it finally. So thanks to you guys. And if anyone's watching, go to www.facebook.com/SouthieFC. Like our Facebook page. We're just a men's amateur team that likes to have fun and likes to win and likes to go out together.
Hey, anyone watching in Boston, give him a call, be a fan, buy him beers. He likes all of those things. And Sean Bobanowski, we know what's coming. What's going on with Liverpool? Hook us up.
First of all, when you said you watch podcasts, I'm pretty sure you meant look at WAG Wednesdays, but we'll gloss over that fact.
Every Wednesday, go to 93rdminute.com. I'm actually going to post that on my Facebook page this week.
But anyway, I'll add that I actually won't talk about Liverpool. I'm saying I just finished the greatest autobiography written of all time, and that was written by Zlatan. I encourage everyone to read it. One of the best autobiographies. I've never seen an athlete be as honest as he is. He makes fun of Guardiola. He talks about the fight with Oguchi Onyewu. He talks about people how he used to take steal bikes when he was still on the academy team, steal a bike from one of his coaches. He used to smash mailboxes when he was on the first team. He his character. It makes you love him as he's easily become my favorite player after reading that book. Trust it's I didn't want to put it down. Read I Am Zlatan is the greatest book that written by a soccer player or any athlete, hands down.
It's not all coloring.
Hey Bulva,
What?
thanks for the book report.
Yeah. All right. So moral of today is follow your local soccer club and make sure you catch up on your reading. We appreciate you guys being here with us tonight. Obviously, as always, a great panel and cast of characters make this fun and exciting for everyone else paying attention. So, for the 93rd Minute and Golden Goal podcast, I am Justin Kale. This is the 93rd Minute, and we will see you next week. And thanks, Kyle, for that.
Nice
guys.
content, Kyle.